China's recent actions near Ayungin Shoal are not mere misunderstandings, they are intentional. This is a significant escalation in our rhetoric towards China and highlights the growing tensions in one of the world's most strategically important waterways. Gilbert Gibo Teodoro Jr, the Philippines' defense chief, has taken a firm stance against China's recent actions near Ayungin Shoal in the South China Sea. His assertion that these actions are intentional, not mere misunderstandings, has sent ripples through the region's geopolitical landscape. This declaration marks a significant escalation in the Philippines' rhetoric towards its powerful neighbor. It also highlights the growing tensions in one of the world's most strategically important waterways. As a seasoned politician and lawyer, I assumed the role of Secretary of National Defense in June 2023. I am no stranger to the complexities of the region, having served in the same position from 2007 to 2009 under then-President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. My return to the defense portfolio comes at a critical juncture, with China asserting its maritime claims more forcefully than ever. Ayungin Shoal, known internationally as Second Thomas Shoal, lies within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. However, China claims the shoal as part of its expansive 9-line claim, which covers almost the entire South China Sea. This claim has been repeatedly invalidated by international law, most notably in the 2016 Arbitral Tribunal ruling in favor of the Philippines. Despite this, China continues to disregard the ruling and asserts its presence in the disputed waters. My statement reflects the growing frustration and concern within the Philippines about China's actions. These words are not just rhetoric, they signify a potential shift in our strategic posture. This shift could have significant implications for regional security and the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific. The recent incident that sparked Teodoro's strong statement involved a Chinese Coast Guard vessel using a water cannon against Philippine boats. These boats were on a resupply mission to the BRP Sierra Madre, a dilapidated World War II era ship intentionally grounded on Ayungin Shoal in 1999 to serve as a Philippine military outpost. The Chinese action, widely condemned as dangerous and provocative, prevented the Philippine boats from completing their mission, jeopardizing the supplies and safety of the Filipino troops stationed on the Sierra Madre. This incident is not an isolated one. China has been steadily increasing its presence in the South China Sea, building artificial islands, deploying Coast Guard and maritime militia vessels, and engaging in activities that directly challenge the sovereignty of its neighbors. China's actions have raised concerns about its intentions and its willingness to use force, or the threat of force, to assert its claims in the region. The Philippines, despite its limited military capabilities, has been vocal in condemning China's actions. However, the previous administration of President Rodrigo Duterte often downplayed Chinese aggression, seeking closer economic ties with Beijing while distancing itself from its longtime ally, the United States. Teodoro's statement signals a potential departure from this approach. His firm stance suggests a willingness to push back against Chinese assertiveness and to strengthen alliances with like-minded countries, particularly the United States, to counter China's growing influence. Teodoro's assertion that China's actions are intentional is significant. It removes any doubt about the Philippines' perception of China's behavior in the South China Sea. By stating unequivocally that these are not misunderstandings or accidents, Teodoro is sending a clear message. The Philippines sees China's actions as deliberate and strategic. This statement is in stark contrast to the more conciliatory tone often adopted by the previous administration. Duterte, wary of provoking China, often attributed incidents like the water cannon attack to miscommunication or overzealousness on the part of individual Chinese commanders. This approach, while perhaps intended to de-escalate tensions, may have inadvertently emboldened China by creating the perception that the Philippines was unwilling to challenge its actions. Teodoro's statement leaves no room for such misinterpretations. It signals a shift in the Philippines' strategic calculus. The Philippines is no longer willing to tolerate China's actions in its exclusive economic zone. It is prepared to call out China's behavior on the international stage and to seek support from its allies in upholding international law and ensuring freedom of navigation in the South China Sea. This shift is partly driven by domestic public opinion. Filipinos are increasingly wary of China's intentions. The water cannon incident, widely publicized in Philippine media, ignited outrage and calls for a stronger response to Chinese aggression. Teodoro's statement reflects this sentiment and the need for the government to take a more assertive stance in defending the country's sovereign rights. Section 4. A History of Contention. The South China Sea dispute is not new. It has been a source of tension and conflict in the region for decades, rooted in overlapping territorial claims, historical narratives, and the region's rich natural resources. China's claim to almost the entire South China Sea, encapsulated in its 9-line map, is based on historical claims dating back centuries. However, these claims are disputed by other littoral states, including the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan. These countries argue that their own historical claims, geographical proximity, and the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, give them legitimate rights to areas within the South China Sea. The Philippines' claim to Ayungin Shoal is based on its location within the country's 200 nautical mile EZ, as defined by UNCLOS. The 2016 arbitral tribunal ruling, which China refuses to recognize, affirmed the Philippines' rights in its EEZ and invalidated China's 9-line claim. Despite this ruling, China has continued to expand its presence in the South China Sea, militarizing artificial islands, conducting naval exercises, and harassing fishing vessels and Coast Guard ships from other claimant states. This behavior has raised concerns about China's intentions and its willingness to use force to achieve its goals. Section 5. Drawing a line in the sand. Teodoro's statement can be seen as drawing a line in the sand. It signals that the Philippines, under the Marcos Jr. administration, is no longer willing to tolerate China's aggressive actions in the South China Sea. This stance marks a departure from the previous administration's approach, which often prioritized economic engagement with China over security concerns. This shift is not just about rhetoric. The Philippines has been taking concrete steps to strengthen its defense capabilities and deepen its security partnerships, particularly with the United States. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, signed in 2014, has been expanded, granting the U.S. military access to additional bases in the Philippines. This move has been met with disapproval from China, which views it as a threat to its interests in the region. However, for the Philippines, it is a necessary step to deter Chinese aggression and ensure the country's security. Teodoro's statement sends a clear message to China. The Philippines is prepared to defend its sovereign rights and interests in the South China Sea. It will no longer shy away from challenging China's actions or seeking support from its allies. Don't miss out on future explorations and discoveries. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated with our new content. Your journey of wonder continues with every video. Stay connected and engaged on social media. Continue the conversation, follow us. Thank you for being a part of the Have You Ever Wondered community. Keep wondering, keep discovering. Until next time.